Even though guys like this are continuously going on about the dangers of woke postmodern Marxism, the truth is, today it is the ascendant authoritarian right that is most guilty of weaponizing and deploying the worst aspects of postmodern philosophy as part of their propaganda strategy. They do this to undermine the perception, the knowledge that there is a consensus reality that we share in together, that there are facts, that there are standards of evidence that apply to the law, to science, especially medical science, to journalism, and to the history of what did and didn't happen. And what we're going to see more and more is widespread adoption of false narratives and conspiracy theories as if they have turned out to be true, just because that's what's floating in the ether. Steve Bannon's approach of flooding the zone plays into this, but even more importantly, this guy, his name is Vladislav Surkov, and he has been the man behind the scenes of the Putin regime for the last 20 to 30 years, orchestrating their style of propaganda. Not only at home, but also exporting it to Western democracies in a deliberate and explicit attempt to undermine those democracies, to create polarization, to create confusion about what is true and what is false. You can see this in the increasing opinion that the lab leak hypothesis has turned out to be true, that the COVID vaccines were actually more dangerous and less effective than we had been led to believe, that maybe autism, after all, is caused by vaccines, and that maybe autoimmune conditions are being caused by food coloring and pesticides, even though the scientific consensus says that no connection has been established between the two at the levels at which we consume them. Project 2025, systematically going through and removing words like transgender, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, like climate change, like woman from federal websites and documentation is, again, part of this kind of strategy. And recently, you'll see in the media, when people are asked about current events like Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation and incarceration in the El Salvador black hole. In polling and when asked by the media, members of the public will often say, I don't really know what is true. Fox News says this, CNN says this, the truth must be somewhere in the middle, but I can't really figure out what it is. So more and more, we have to keep saying it. We have to be clear in ourselves the basis for what we believe is true and what we believe is false. And then when we come across these false narratives being repeated as if they're self-evident, challenge them. Point to the evidence. Back up your arguments.